I forgot to say it while recording, but this What If was recommended by 2 fans, so there will be in the description, but I'm not going to drag out too long. Please go subscribe to them, and then let's get into the actual video. Bye. Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to a brand new What If, and this is What If Naruto had a reality Kekkei Genkai. For those of you who don't know what a Kekkei Genkai is, it's like the Sharingan, Byakugan, Tenseigan and Rinnegan. Well, actually those are dojutsus. Basically anything special about someone that's unique to them is a Kekkei Genkai, basically, like a bloodline trait. It's hard to think of it, but I guess spoil release would be a Kekkei Genkai. I think ice release would be a Kekkei Genkai. And yeah, that's all I can really think of. I'm mostly basing it off the Naruto Minecraft mod, or Minecraft Naruto mod from Mathiox. But anyway guys, I'm not going to drag this out too long, only a few things I want to say. If you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe. We're so close to 21,000 subscribers. Hit that notification bell, hit that like button. Oh wait, I messed it up, didn't I? Hit the notification bell so you don't miss another daily upload. Hit the like button so it helps with my YouTube analytics, the algorithm. It's completely free for you guys, it helps me out a lot. And also, go down to the comments, you see my thumbnail guy? Go subscribe to him, he's the best thumbnail artist I've ever had. Just help him out, help him get to 1k, he just hit 500 subscribers. Also, go down to my Snapchat, add me on Snapchat, we'll have a conversation. Follow me on Instagram, I will have a conversation. And other than that guys, also join the Discord server and let's get started. We start our story on a cold and dark night in a leaf village. Everything seemed peaceful, everything seemed normal and calm. Until the Nine-Tails attacked. Suddenly, the once peaceful streets were filled with screams and terror of the people in them. With the entire village forces not being able to fight against it, their only hope was the fourth Hokage. The Nine-Tails began to charge up a tailed beast bomb. And as it was fired, hundreds of shinobi began to accept their fate until finally, the fourth Hokage Minato Kamikaze. Wait, no, Namikaze. Oh, let me change that in the script. Sorry guys, not a kamikaze. It might be. Minato Namikaze arrived, teleporting the attack away. This is where our story truly begins. After trying all that he could, Minato soon realised that there was no other option. He needed to save his newly born son and the village. After teleporting back to his wife, he finally got to hold his newborn son, the main character in our story, Naruto Uzumaki, the child of legends, the child of prophecies. Minato began to prepare as his wife used the last of her chakra to wrap the Nine-Tails in chakra chains, the Uzumaki clan style. And Minato used a reed pedestal as his wife and him were impaled. Minato managed to seal the entire Nine-Tails fox inside Naruto, as well as a piece of him and his wife. Minato then fell down next to his son, who was very calm. This is when true fear struck Minato. Not once during this fight, during this chaos, has his son cried or even opened his eyes. He thought the worst, his son is a stillborn, he's dead. Using the last of his strength, Minato very slowly opened Naruto's eyes, and what he saw astounded him. Naruto's eyes were flashing into different colours every second. It was rainbow. But when Minato looked closely, he could see those weren't just colours. Those were dojutsus, the Sharingan, Byakugan, something blue, something purple. But then there was other colours as well. Minato, who had his entire life seen the many marvellous, the many wonders of the world, had never seen something like this, so beautiful, so breathtaking, and ironically, after this thought, Minato took his last breath. The third Hokage arrived to see Minato and Kushina's dead bodies laying on the floor lifeless next to their son, who was lying asleep. He picked up the baby and took Naruto to the hospital. Every day the third Hokage visited Naruto and eventually he saw Mikoto there. For those who don't know, this is Sasuke's mum, that's who she is, that's her name, Mikoto. They began to talk and eventually the subject of Naruto's care came up. The third Hokage said he either planned to put him in a house and take care of his financial needs or to adopt him himself. Immediately Mikoto asked to adopt Naruto, and at first the third Hokage refused, until Mikoto pointed out, "You're too busy to raise a child. And not only that, you're too old as well, meaning you most likely put him in housing. So just let me adopt him. His mother was my best friend. She would want this." After a few moments of thought and thinking, the third Hokage finally agreed. However, there was a slight problem. Although Naruto was completely healthy, actually the most healthy baby they had, he had not once opened his eyes since being brought into the hospital. Due to this, it's believed he is blind. Hearing this, Mikoto began to cry and said, "How sure are you?" The third Hokage replied, "Not entirely, and that is why today we are going to open his eyes by force." Actually, they're about to open them now. We go to the nurse in the hospital room who is slowly opening Naruto's eyes, and they are all amazed when they see Naruto's rainbow eyes. Even the third Hokage can't stop himself from muttering, "Incredible." Mikoto smiles and says he's even more amazing than his parents. After completing the adoption papers, Mikoto takes Naruto home to Fugaku and Sasuke and Itachi. By the way, Sasuke's still a baby, remember? When she arrives, Fugaku stands up and says, "It looks like Lord Third allowed you to adopt him, huh?" Fugaku walks over with a serious face, which soon becomes a smile, as he kneels down and says, "Welcome to our family, little one." Itachi then walks over and both his parents saying, "Now you have another little brother to look after." Itachi smiles and he says, "Sure," as he lets baby Naruto hold onto his finger. Suddenly, Naruto for the first time on his own opens his eyes and everyone is marvelled by their beauty. We now skip 3 years to a Naruto who can now walk, and instead of being called the demon brat by the villagers, he's called the magic boy. As mysterious things happen around Naruto, such as food randomly appearing in his hand when he's hungry, and Itachi swearing blind that once he was showing Naruto the Sharingan, and suddenly Naruto had his own Sharingan like he copied it, but it disappeared before anyone could say anything. Due to Naruto and the love that the third Hokage had for him, the Uchiha clan feuded left with the Leaf Village, but it wasn't going to hold it back forever, and soon after 2 more years, the hostility became too much, and soon Shisui came up with the idea to use his Genkai Sharingan Genjutsu, the most powerful Genjutsu in the world, what he thinks at least, against the village. Naruto sees Shisui as an older brother, and as well he's also quite happy to spend endless time with him, until one day while they were returning back home, Shisui and Naruto are surrounded by army members. One of them attempted to knock Naruto out by his neck, but Naruto screamed, "Get away from us!" As Naruto's eyes glowed, suddenly, every army member was blown away by an unknown force. Seeing this, Shisui was confused, but he wasn't going to miss this chance. He immediately kills them. Naruto doesn't cry, and instead when he sees the blood, he mutters, "Water?" Remember, he's still a child, he's not a genius. He sees the blood and just thinks it's red water, and he mutters, "Water?" As his eyes glows yet again, the red blood soon becomes crystal clear water. Shisui seeing this pats Naruto on the head and asks, "How did you do that?" Naruto, not understanding the question, just giggles. I don't know. That's when Shisui's expressions turn serious as he turns to see Danza walking towards him. Danza yells, "Shisui Uchiha, you are under arrest for the murder of the Leaf Village army members." Shisui laughs and says, "These aren't army members, you forget I served in the army." I guarantee that if I turn myself in right now, it would be revealed that they were your Foundation army members and they had not been given the approval to do this by the third Hokage. Danza scowls and immediately rushes towards Shisui, attempting to rip out his eyes. As Naruto is watching this, something changes within him. He doesn't understand why, but he had the urge to protect Shisui, but he didn't have the power to. This 5-year-old Naruto pleaded with himself, "Please get stronger, please get smarter," until suddenly his eyes glowed again, and we go to inside Naruto's head. His neurons link his brain up, although half of them didn't work. They were now fully connected, and connected better. His brain power increased by 1 million times what it was before. Although him himself didn't understand it, he now understood. He now understood how the blood turned into water. Although he didn't know actually why, he understood that it had something to do with him. Naruto then focused on Dante's arm and imagined water flowing like a lake, and yelled, "Water!" Danza's arm suddenly became water as he was confused and he jumps back in pain, as his shoulder had an open wound where his arm should have been. Shisui then activates his Genkai Sharingan and in the speed of light decapitates Danza. Naruto is now insanely smart and intelligent, understands what just happened, but also understands why it had to happen. Shisui runs over to Naruto making sure it's okay, and after seeing Naruto's fine, he takes a deep breath and falls backward. He then asks Naruto for a second time, "What was that?" And although Shisui didn't expect a proper answer, Naruto, instead of giving a childish answer, he's now intelligent. He answers, "I don't know. I did it on purpose, however I also feel stronger and smarter than before." Naruto then goes over to Danzo's dead body and says, "Flowers." Danzo's dead body quickly becomes flowers and blow away in the wind. Shisui is caught off guard by Naruto, who's now speaking like a fully grown adult, and says, "Interesting." Naruto then asks Shisui about how his eye is different now. Shisui replies, "Don't worry, I'll tell you when you're older." Naruto says, I like it, it's pretty." Shisui is amazed as he watches Naruto's eyes become the Sharingan, and then the exactly same Genkai Sharingan pattern that Shisui had. This time Shisui is really confused, and he tells Naruto to deactivate it, and Naruto does. Shisui realizes he can't take Naruto back to the village until he figures out the basis of this power and how strong Naruto is. He sits Naruto down and says, "You say you felt stronger, right? How strong?" Shisui lays his arm out, signaling for Naruto to attempt an arm wrestling. And as Shisui counts to 3, Naruto puts his hand there. And as he gets to 3, Naruto absolutely destroys Shisui in an instant, slamming his arm down, creating a crater. After seeing this, Shisui immediately takes Naruto back to the Uchiha compound, the Shofugaku. And after seeing that Naruto is now smart and can use a Sharingan as well as insanely strong, they're all confused, but decide it's not exactly a bad thing, even if it is confusing. And after about 2 minutes of thinking, they decide to just go with it and attempt to train Naruto in it. 2 years go by, and in these 2 years, Naruto now understands his abilities. The world seems to listen to him and what he wants. He can do jutsu without a single thought, no need to hand sign. That means infinite possibilities. He can create any jutsu he wants to. Not only this, but the impossible for Naruto is possible. He can fly in the skies like a bird, turn stone into gold, fire into water, and even control the weather. It's like reality just isn't existent for Naruto. What Naruto wants is reality. Despite this power, it's kept secret mostly. The Uchiha feud with the Leaf Village begins to grow, and Itachi is ordered to kill his clan by the elders. He is allowed to spare Naruto and Sasuke. And not you're thinking, how did the third Hokage allow this? And that's because he didn't. He fought against the elders to the ending, that the Uchiha clan and the Leaf Village can make amends, to the point that they had to go behind his back and lie to Itachi, saying the third Hokage ordered this. We now go to the night of the massacre. Naruto couldn't sleep as he had a feeling in his gut something was wrong. He hears his house door open and close as someone leaves. Naruto immediately gets up and follows them. He turns the corner to see Itachi and Shisui fighting, and overhears Shisui yelling, "No, Itachi, there's a way! You don't need to kill the clan!" After hearing this, Naruto rushes out and screams, "Stop!" as both his eyes begin to glow. Shisui and Itachi's body are frozen in time. After seeing Naruto, Itachi was overwhelmed in shame, guilt, and sadness. This caused his eyes to change to Genkai Sharingan. I don't know, I might not keep that, I might make it as an article. Naruto, knowing that he can't take any risks, bends reality to what he pleases, as the ground beneath Itachi turns into water, and it sucks him up like quicksand, and slowly a small wave of watery dirt flows over Itachi's shoulders, leaving his head floating, and then it hardens again. Naruto, with tears in his eyes, boots Itachi in the face. He goes, "How could you even think of hurting the clan? No, not even the clan. How could you even think about hurting our family?" Itachi couldn't even meet Naruto's eyes out of shame. Shisui tries to calm Naruto down, but with one glance from Naruto, Shisui's legs were like liquid, as if there was no bones within them, and they folded beneath him. Naruto, now enraged, yells, "Why, Itachi?" Itachi does not reply, and Naruto, not even more enraged as his eyes close, he bends reality around them, as the wind around them becomes like a metal sword. In Naruto's hand, Naruto then says, "I'll ask you one more time before I take your head." Itachi then says, "I was ordered by the elders under Lord Third supervision." Naruto, hearing this, puts his hand to the side, guided by his own instinct and his own rage. The space next to Naruto where he's pointing to begins to ripple and swell as if reality was bending. Shisui and Itachi begin to think they're hallucinating, until Naruto launches his hand through the ripples and swells, and he pulls out the third Hokage, who's half asleep. After realizing where he is, he immediately wakes up and says, "What's going on?" Naruto says in a growl, "Did you order Itachi to kill the Uchiha clan?" The third Hokage, confused, mutters, "What?" Naruto places a sword to the Hokage's neck and asks again. The third Hokage says, "No!" The look on Itachi's face goes from shame to rage. The rage is so powerful that Itachi's regular Sharingan turns back into the Megenko Sharingan as his red Susanoo breaks him out of the ground. Naruto, not really sure what's going to happen, he stares at Itachi and his Susanoo becomes a bunch of bubbles as Itachi falls out of it. 1 second, guys, I got a message. Itachi caught off guard at this, so he isn't going to question it. They immediately go to the Uchiha compound and they inform them of what happened, how the elders lied to how the elders lied to execute the Uchiha clan. And after this, Fugaku hears this, becomes pissed, and they all storm into the elders' house. At first they deny any accusation about how they attempted to have the Uchiha clan massacred, but eventually they can't deny it any longer, and hesitantly they admit it. Instantly, Itachi and Shisui decapitate both of them. We now have a time skip to the last day of the academy, with Naruto finishing first and Sasuke in second. As he is about to head home, Mitsuki tells Naruto that their test to become a Chunin is to steal the sacred scroll ceiling. Naruto, not falling for this, he tells Naruto to do it. They will be there to fix it. Naruto then steals the sacred scroll ceiling, and before he gives it to Mitsuki, he hides and attempts to learn some jutsus, such as the Shadow Clone, the Rasengan, and the Flying Raijin. Remember, he's a genius. As well as he reads to the last page, and in it speaks of a sacred power of rainbow eyes. Naruto, being intrigued by this, it reads, "The one who possesses rainbow eyes is the chosen one. Reality will bend to his will. No matter what happens to him, there will always be light when you follow him. What he wishes becomes reality. Nothing is impossible for this one. He will be the one to lead the world into a new age, the one to end wars, the one to end starvation, the one who will cheat death on multiple accounts, the one who will replace the Sage of the Six Paths." After reading this deck, Naruto begins to think, okay, I've read what I read, let's get this to Mitsuki now. He meets Mitsuki deep in the Forest of Death. Immediately a massacre Rasengan is thrown at him, but Naruto just looks at it, and thinking back to what he did to Itachi, it turns to bubbles. Mitsuki, now caught off guard, rushes at Naruto, just to be kicked out of the air by Itachi, and then surrounded by Shisui, Itachi and Fugaku, all pointing kunais at his throat. Mitsuki yells, "You damn demon brat, I told you not to tell anyone!" Before he could be subdued, Mitsuki activates his curse mark. As for those who watched a bit of filler and a bit of Naruto, they'll know Mitsuki actually had a curse mark from Orochimaru. And he blew everyone away from him, but in a blink of an eye, his world is turned upside down, as Naruto, who created a sword, decapitates him. And he ended any threat to the village that night. After this, his life returns to normal. Naruto and Sasuke are placed on Team 7 with Sakura, of course. They are given 3 senseis this time. Kakashi is the main, and Itachi and Shisui, who are placed there as supervisors in brackets. This is due to Naruto's rare abilities. They want even more eyes in him to make sure he can train it properly and that he doesn't go out of control, considering he is the 9-toed Jinchuriki. So instead of getting told that they're going to have a bell test tomorrow, they get it that day. And when they go to the bell test, they will only fight against Kakashi. The battle test begins as both Sasuke and Naruto rush at Kakashi in perfect unison. They have both been training together their entire lives. They got their combos down. Sasuke uses the same taijutsu combo he does in canon. Before Kakashi gets the chance to catch him, Naruto comes in with a flying kick to the face. Naruto now has immense strength and speed, catches Kakashi off guard and also sends him flying away. Naruto and Sasuke continue to rush at them, until suddenly he's pulled underground by Kakashi. Naruto, seeing this, bends reality for the ground become water and Sasuke to pull himself out. Kakashi, caught off guard seeing this, attempts to hit Naruto away. Naruto's rainbow eyes begins to glow as Kakashi punches lands on an invisible barrier around Naruto, as Naruto seems to bend reality around himself, making himself impossible to touch. Finally, Naruto activates his Sharingan. Remember, Naruto's Sharingan doesn't turn red, it keeps its like rainbow colour, it just gets it through Tomoe. And then he yells, "I borrowed this from older brother Itachi." As he activates Itachi's Magenko Sharingan, he uses Tsukuyomi on Kakashi, freezing him in place in a nightmare of non-stop ramen being forced down his throat. As he snatches the bells, passing the test, and making Itachi faceplant while he was watching out in the distant forest. Other than that, guys, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you share with your friends, family, comment down below what else you want to see. And yeah, please like and subscribe, it means a lot to me, it helps me out more than you guys know. Go down in the description, follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, and subscribe to my thumbnail artist. Other than that, guys, I'm not going to drag it out for too long. I will see you guys in a bit.